do it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined by my two kind of chilly co-hosts. To my right, it is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Just for a note, I'm never chilly.
And back behind the computer, making us sound less awful than we usually do, just polishing his knob, it is Bruce, the tugboat Venditti.
What's up? And I'm actually pretty warm.
Are you today?
I am.
You're toasty today?
Surprisingly not cold today.
Yeah, you usually get your blanket wrapped around your legs.
Ugh.
As I'm sure you can probably hear, me and Uncle Sam have both been under the weather for the last week. I apologize for my absence on Wednesday. There were
Glad to have you back.
pressing matters.
Glad to have you back.
I'm sure everybody listening is too.
Anyway.
Probably.
But we need to start off first with the biggest story in the world at the moment. Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady have officially and admissibly ended their marriage after 13 blissful years.
Couldn't have been that blissful if they're fucking divorced already.
Well, so the timeline of this whole thing makes pretty good sense to me now. Gisele says, hey, I'm going to leave you if you keep playing football. Brady retires. They try and work it out. Tom either realizes he didn't want to be married anymore, wanted to keep playing football. Tom comes out of retirement. Tom misses Wednesdays to go to his parent counseling classes that they already said he completed.
I don't know why he just didn't tell people that from the beginning.
Said
you should have told him he's in therapy.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of everybody
That's a personal
talking
matter.
shit, shut him up.
Right,
It
personal
doesn't really
matter.
fucking matter what anybody thinks what he's doing.
All you had to say is I'm
Co-parenting.
therapy. Fuck off.
It doesn't matter what he's doing.
So-
I don't care if he's sitting in a corner stroking his
No, because you got
fucking cock.
everybody accusing him
It
of
doesn't
doing
matter.
nothing.
The Masked
Just taking
Singer.
the day off.
So
The Masked Singer.
that all makes pretty good sense to me now at this point. But beyond that, we essentially, from what everyone who's close to the situation is saying, it's that football ruined their marriage, essentially. Gisele could not stand the fact that he wasn't home 6 months out of the year.
Well,
both-
I truly believe it's longer than 6 months.
Well, yeah, I mean,
From the time the season starts,
the amount
and
of
they're
training that
promoting it.
Brady does in the off season too.
Yeah.
You know, there were weeks when he was doing pliability camps in the Bahamas and shit. So,
Because all, if you want to take it all into consideration, these guys are off maybe a month and a half a year.
well, yeah. So
month
March,
and a half,
March,
a
April,
year.
May. I'll give him 3
Yeah.
months where they're actually off. And Brady, at least for the last 22 years before this season, never took time off.
No, he'd
There
always
was
go out
never
to
a time-
California and run his own camp.
Correct. There was never time where he was off. So it seems like Gisele was just fed up with him being gone for 3/4 of the year. And
Which is understandable.
Absolutely.
I you know what? I'm not going to point fingers at anybody on the deal. It is what it is, dude.
but I think this whole situation, now that we have some clarity on it, this guarantees a couple of things. One, when Brady says that he has no plans to retire in the immediate future, I believe that wholeheartedly now. I don't think this will be his last year. Even if the Buccaneers somehow come back from the dead and have a very successful season, even if they continue down on the poop train that they're on, I don't think this will be the last time we see Tom Brady. Do I agree with that at the current moment? I don't know.
Well, he did come out in that press conference, right? And he'd say that I'm just letting you guys know I'm not going anywhere.
Correct. So he will be back. Everybody is well aware. It's very well documented here how I feel about Tom Brady, about the Buccaneers, about all of it. I'm not going to get too deep right now, okay?
Thank
so
you.
just roll with me.
Thank you.
Watching what I'm watching, and this will take us right into Thursday night. Watching what I am watching currently is not fun. It's not productive for the team. We're at a point now where we have people taking the quarterback who, when he retired 6 months ago, everybody was in agreement, right? Everybody was in agreement on how successful where Brady was at in the pecking order, essentially. What he had done had never been done, period. Now we're at a point where he's getting compared in certain circles, on certain podcasts, on certain TV shows to Brett Favre. And this is where I want to throw up, because this happened before, right? If we go back after the Patriots won the first 3 and Brady went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl, right? Towards the tail end of that 10-year span, when the Patriots weren't making AFC championship games, the Patriots weren't in Super Bowls, the conversation was Brady is washed, right? There's a clip that keeps circulating of Max Kellerman in 2010 saying that Brady needed to retire because he was washed.
Max Kellerman's a boxing guy.
I'm aware.
He doesn't know football.
He's fucking brain dead. I know that. But that's and we're getting close to that now. Obviously, they were all fucking wrong.
Well, I'm not going to I understand the comment of him going down the Favre path, because those two guys have been around longer, stayed around longer than most quarterbacks have. And Drew Brees is in that mix too. At what point, obviously his skills have diminished. He's not what he once was.
You know what? I'm gonna argue with you there.
I'm not going to argue with that. Obviously, he is not what he once was. Does his brain still work? Does it still work for him? Absolutely, it works.
Does yours?
Anyway, I'm not going to go there right now.
Okay,
but fuck stick.
This is
what I'm trying to say is this. He's still there. He can still play at a high level.
He's playing at a very high level.
If he didn't play at a high level, I don't think he'd be playing.
Right.
I think if he was playing like Matt Ryan, to where he was hurting his fucking team.
Correct.
I get him leaving. His numbers are still decent. Compared to his turnovers, and it doesn't matter.
His numbers are better than decent. That's the problem that I have.
His numbers are very decent
with all of this. Through 8 games, he's averaging 285.
Who's got better numbers right now, him or Aaron Rodgers?
Better what numbers?
Who's got better numbers right now?
Brady's still better. Brady has 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, obviously he does.
QBR of 93, averaging 285 yards a game. Those are good numbers. Are they Tom Brady numbers? No. Are they good numbers? Yes.
Is his skills diminished? Yes.
I would say
no way you're going to go at 45 years old and expect to perform the way you did when you were 35.
You want me to be honest with you? What I'm watching on the field isn't his skill set necessarily diminishing. It's for some reason that he
losing his guys?
This team doesn't have it anymore. I don't know if it's the offensive line the other night he was 26 for 44 for a touchdown and 325 yards.
They were not the issue. It was the defense was the issue.
Well,
the defense was getting fucking
Mike Evans dropping balls.
Do you want to know what? They put a statistic.
They put a good first half up that should have been a blowout.
Correct.
They should have blew them out. They should have blew the Ravens out.
I think I finally figured out what I needed to figure out from this so far. They put up a stat. This year, Brady is releasing the ball
quick,
0.2 of a second faster than he ever has before. He's averaging right around 2.2 seconds, which is the fastest in the league.
It's because he doesn't have an offensive line.
You want to know why his completion percentage is so piss poor? Because
he's got guys dropping balls left and right.
It's not only that. What he's doing, and I watched it now, and I finally grasped it. There are certain plays where he is taking the snap.
He's anticipating guys to be somewhere there, and they're not there.
1, he's anticipating guys to be where they're supposed to be, and they're not. And 2, he's getting the ball and immediately surveying it and knowing, 1, guys aren't going to be where they are. 2, the offensive line can't hold up. And 3, I'm not going to take hits at 46 years old. And he's just rifling the fucking ball where there's nobody. Purposefully. He takes the snap, and if
you see him throwing balls into the dirt.
Correct.
You see him throwing balls over guys' heads.
And people
want
to say, correct. People want to say that's his skill set diminishing, and I don't believe that. I believe that he is at a point in his career where he's not going to take that sack, where he's not going to scramble to try and get out of it because he can't. And so, if in those 2 seckons it ain't developed, the ball's going at the fucking ground.
I will say this: you got to hold the team responsible.
I agree 1,000%.
The players have to be held responsible. You got a guy like Mike Evans, who's dropping fucking passes that are hitting him in the hands. That's unacceptable.
You want to know? I was watching. It was one of the morning shows, and it was a bigger dude. And I can't remember his name now. It was one of the morning shows. I want to say it was on ESPN, and he was a bigger dude. They had him zoomed in, and he was talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Jameis Winston before Brady got there, and that even though Jameis was the issue with that team, right? They had very talented receivers. They had a very talented defense. Fournette was coming on strong, and they were hungry to win.
Right.
Okay? And then Tom Brady comes to town, and everybody was all excited, and
if I'm mistaken, Fournette came when Brady came.
Correct. When I said Fournette was coming on, he was coming on to the team.
Correct.
And everybody was very excited that, oh my gosh, it's been Jameis this whole time. We have our shit together, and now we're going to get over the hump, right? And they went out, and they all played balls to the wall. There was uber focus. They all bought into Brady's method of you have to be super, super focused, and we can win this thing. And they won it. And then last year, they did the same thing.
The wheels started to come off a little bit. Bruce Arians,
Injuries.
for some reason, bailed.
After last year, when it didn't work perfectly,
correct.
You had a team, the group of guys who have been there, the Mike Evans, the Chris Godwin, the guys who have been there, saw it not work, and it all kind of fell apart. Tom has always been able to, when they had bad years in New England, come in the next season, and him and Bill just got it going. I think everybody talks about Brady versus Belichick. Who is more important? I think one of the reasons why they won so much is because when it came to the focus, when it came to the dedication, when it came to the amount of work that needed to be put in to the game to be successful, they were on the same page, right? They might not have agreed on much, but what they agreed on was the amount of effort, time, dedication, and work that it took to build every year, come back in with a new group of guys and get it successful and get the train going.
Because they were at a point they were just plugging guys in.
Correct.
And they were still successful.
And only bring in guys who are going to buy into that philosophy.
Correct. And that system.
And they don't have that X factor.
They don't have that in
Tampa.
Tampa.
So I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but I think the only way to salvage this year, which I'm starting to come to grips with the terms that it's not going to get salvaged, that unfortunately this team is a first-round playoff exit because they will inevitably win their division. But next, if Brady stays, which I don't think he will, if Brady stays in Tampa, you've got to let him bring in people. Guess what? Brian Leftwich wasn't his fucking pick.
No.
Todd Bowles wasn't his fucking pick. No. And as much as he butted heads with Arians, I think he shot himself in the foot because Arians had didn't have the Belichick X factor, but had some of them same qualities to him.
Correct.
And Brady wanted to get away from that so badly, he ran inside town and
I
became
truly
his
think
own worst enemy.
Arians would challenge Brady.
Correct.
And just irritate him to the point where he would
and he didn't
have to prove him wrong.
And he said, you know what, I've been doing this for 20 years, fuck you.
I don't need that.
Correct. And I think that was his own fuck up.
He won't be. I don't believe he'll be in Tampa next year. I believe he'll be in Miami.
I do too.
I truly do.
I do.
And his scenario that should have been last year will be this year.
I think him and Sean Payton.
Where does Tua end up?
Tua is going to end up. Who knows? Maybe Broncos country. I don't know.
Maybe
Broncos.
Maybe somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe
Carolina.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see Miami getting rid of him.
Let's start with the first game that's coming up here Sunday.
So we have a 9:30
a.m.
9:30 a.m. start tomorrow. Shockingly enough, Broncos country.
84% of employers agree that offering financial wellness tools can help reduce employee attrition. Is your small business providing enough benefits and financial wellness tools to its employees? Matt Lenhart and his team at Insignia Financial Company want to help you make sure you are doing everything you can to keep your employees financially healthy. Give Matt a call today at 734-744-9607 for a complimentary consultation or retirement plan review to make sure you are putting your best foot forward and keeping your employees first. His name is Matt Lenhart at Insignia Financial Company, and that number again is 734-744-9607. Give Matt a call. Your employees will appreciate it, and he will definitely give you the best consultation he can. Security and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated is separately owned, and any other entities or marketing names mentioned here are independent of Royal Alliance Associates.
Goes to Wembley Stadium in London to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is currently a 2.5-point favorite. Thank God. Vegas finally
right.
didn't favor Denver in a game. The reports are as follows on Russell Wilson. On the team plane to London, the 8-hour flight, 4 of those hours.
I would have wanted to shot myself.
He was working out and running up and down the aisle and getting ready.
I'm sure that his teammates are really happy about that.
Do you want to know? You know what?
I'm hearing a lot of shit about Russell Wilson.
You want to know what Russell?
past
Did
week.
you see?
Oh yeah,
Justin Tucker
yeah.
mocking him on their plane ride home from Tampa yesterday. I will say this about Russell Wilson: love the work ethic, man. Love it.
Yeah.
You are one hell of a dude when it comes to getting down and dirty and doing what you need to do to stay ready. But you kind of look like a fucking nerd, dude. Like it's getting to be a
Well, you
bit
gotta
much.
put him
That's
down
now.
like
That's the thing now.
Because
Dude's
it's
trying.
getting to be a bit much.
dude's trying, man.
That's the thing now. That's the thing now. The
Like-
more stupid you look, the cooler you are.
No, I don't think he
Yes,
looks
it
cool
is.
right now.
Look
No,
at Bruce.
stop. Oh, Jesus. Russell Wilson looked cool. Russell Wilson has the pop star wife. Russell Wilson always, when he is out in public, dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson has the clothing brand. Russell Wilson was cool.
Why are all the guys that played with this guy coming out now and talking about?
Because
this
he's
guy like
tacky.
he's an asshole.
Because he's not an asshole. He's just tacky. He's just tacky.
Why?
Because he is.
Why is a guy like Richard Sherman blasting him? Guys that he played.
Because-
Marshawn Lynch,
Richard Sherman
probably
has
the
CTE.
most real guy in the league in the past 10 years, come out and said he's an asshole.
He's tacky. He is. I mean, look at it. Broncos country, let's ride.
Yeah.
Over and over. That's tacky.
Yeah.
The subway danger witch.
Okay.
That's
I thought
tacky.
that was pretty funny.
That's fucking tacky.
It's cheesy.
No, it's tacky.
Yeah, that's
Thank
funny. That's
Yes, but
cheesy. It's a
you. You
troll.
understand? It's when you're like that, people don't respect tacky. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
I'm sorry, but when you got guys you play with, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that talk shit about Brady that don't like Tom Brady.
But everybody will respect him.
Everybody respects him, though.
Bingo. There's the
Brian
difference.
Fitzpatrick told me that Tom Brady, I seen an interview with him. He said Tom Brady is the biggest asshole there is, but I fucking respect him.
Yes. The thing is,
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, I bet you he's not that bad of a dude. If you saw him, he's probably pretty nice. He's very charitable. He does a lot for kids, and you
Yeah.
see him out in public, and he's never not got a smile on his face. But he's fucking tacky, and I don't
feel
think
like-
guys respect him. I don't think guys in his own locker room
He got
respect him.
too locked into that social status. He went too far into the
Yes,
to the entertainment side.
correct. I agree with
That's
that,
all.
too.
That's what it is now.
Right.
though.
He got too caught up.
That's what it is now. though.
No.
This is what the NFL wants. They want it to be fucking superstar.
But is Tom headed in the
Political,
same direction?
everything
Because
else.
you know, he's got his own clothing brand. He posts
had that before. The
Instagram.
The way they go about it's different.
He
you don't
Russell-
see him promote his shit like other people do.
Russell Wilson. I mean, I sat next to Russell Wilson I sat next to Russell Wilson in a restaurant in New York one time.
Okay.
And the way that the entourage he walks in with, the way you know what I'm saying? He's very star-studded.
Okay.
Like it's very, look at me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, but he's tacky. Period. That's what it is. And I don't think his own locker room respects him at this point. And that's going to be a fucking big issue because he's signed for a long time for a lot of
Here's
money.
the thing: if he does play,
If he does play, which
play.
he is going, they did say he is going to play.
okay.
the Broncos country thing was probably the worst thing that could happen to him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That video was
is.
the
Either
worst
way,
fucking
Jacksonville
thing.
2.5 point favorite, over under a 40.5 points at
Are
Wembley.
they at Jacksonville? Or
They're
they're
at Wembley.
Wembley.
They're in London.
I'm going to take Jacksonville at a point.
I am going to take Jacksonville minus 2.5 as well.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Again, and I'll be brutally honest with you. Jacksonville's 2-5, and I think Jacksonville is probably one of the best.
Here's the thing. You think they're going to be able to put some points up? The last game that was not in the United States put points up. You think
It's a
these guys
50,
will be able to do the
50-50
same?
crapshoot.
Okay, so
Problem
you're going over the
This is
40
a London
and a half?
game. The Broncos
I'm
could
not.
win.
I'm not going over. I
Okay.
just
I'm taking
can't-
Jacksonville in the over. I'm
well,
going to go over on this.
if you look at it this way, I'll say this much. Against the Giants, Jaguars put up 17. Against Houston, they put up 6. Against Philly, they put up 21. They play to their competition.
Yeah.
And Denver could be playing the Bug Tussle State University football team in their defense, and they're not going to put a point still.
Right.
So I think the Jaguars will end up playing down to their level, but ultimately winning this game. But it's going to be a 14-10,
Okay. So
7-9.
Then.
I'm going to take the under
You
for
know
sure,
what?
and I'm
Now
going to take
listening to
Jacksonville.
you and thinking about their defense, Denver's.
Denver.
I'm gonna agree with that.
The only reason, for a second. The only reason Denver has 2 wins is because of their defense. Russell Wilson
Actually,
has
they should
done.
have more. They took 2 games to overtime and lost both games.
Russell Wilson has done absolutely nothing to help this team. Nothing. Realistically,
I agree.
and I'm ready to say this now. If they had Geno Smith, if the Broncos had Geno Smith instead of Russell Wilson, they'd be a 4-win football team.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So, yeah, I'm going to take Jacksonville and the under.
I'm taking Jacksonville. But what happens with all this adversity going on and in London or whatever the fuck? What happens if Russell Wilson comes out and just has a fucking
You know
game?
something that popped into my head. What if this is what Russell needs to have his big coming out party under all the lights? He's the only one on TV in London. I thought about that, but I've sat here and taken the Broncos week after week after week, thinking, "Oh yeah, this is gonna,
That's what
you know,
holds you against
Russell
me.
Wilson against the Jets. This is going to be the week. Russell Wilson against Indianapolis. This is going to be the week." And you want to know what? It ain't the fucking week because he doesn't have rapport and he's not respected, and I don't think he's that good. And he's dealing with an injury, and he's sitting there doing 4 hours worth of fucking butterfly squats on a plane to try and get himself ready. Like, it's just a disaster right now. I think Jacksonville's in a little bit better situation.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This next game, I don't even know. I don't even know what to I don't even know what to make of it.
Okay.
The Carolina Panthers are heading into Atlanta to play the Falcons. The Falcons, for some reason, are a 4-point favorite. The over-under is 41. Which Panthers team are we going to see? Are we going to see the Panthers?
We're going to see that Panthers team that absolutely ass hammered
Tampa Bay?
Tampa. Or
I,
are we going to see the team? Is Baker Mayfield playing?
no, P.J. Walker is the starting quarterback.
Okay.
They said that. You want to know when they said that? Whoever the coach is there now, because I don't remember.
Not Matt Rule.
Not Matt Rule. Whoever not Matt Rule is. He said, I don't care if Darnold's healthy. I don't care if Mayfield's healthy. P.J. Walker is our guy.
Okay.
Because you have to remember, P.J. Walker won the Super Bowl last week.
Yeah, he did.
When they beat Tampa last week, 21-3, that was Carolina's Super Bowl. So
Okay.
P.J. Walker is going to be the guy. Atlanta looked pretty atrocious against Cincy, but then they beat the 49ers the week before. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to make of this. Carolina loses to Arizona, San Francisco, and the Rams. It lose. And then is P.J. Walker the next Geno Smith now?
I don't know.
Maybe.
The problem is who else is there? There's nobody else in Carolina to do anything with now. They trade away their best player. They fire their head coach. They throw out their entire quarterback room and give it to give it to the ball to H.R. Puff and stuff, P.J. Walker. I mean, I'm gonna take it to Carolina. I'm gonna take Carolina to cover
because of the points.
-4. No, I'm gonna take
They're
them.
getting 4.
I'll take Carolina to cover and win this game. I don't
Okay.
know why. It seems like maybe they needed to fire the head coach, trade away the best player, have guys no longer want
Is
to play
Patterson
there.
back this week? Cordell Patterson back this week?
I don't didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything on him, and that's why I know he was supposed to be out 4 to 5 weeks. They said he would be back.
He has not been activated from IR yet.
He's not activated yet.
So
okay.
I'm gonna take Carolina +4. I think they're gonna win this game. I think they have a little bit of new life with PJ Walker, at least for another week. Maybe they'll ride that wave. I don't know. The over-under of 41. Shit.
I feel like that's kind of high.
I mean, Atlanta put up 17, 28, 15, 23, 27.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a ground and pound fight.
I mean, and you have to remember, Carolina put up 21 points against Tampa's defense.
All right, so you're going to go the over.
I'm going to take Carolina on the over.
Okay.
Maybe it is kind of low. It's 41.
Yeah. 6 touchdowns.
I don't know. I'm not doing the betting aspect, but I'll take the Panthers to win.
Go.
It doesn't make sense.
Who you got?
I'm going to take Carolina in the over.
How did all three of us take Carolina in this?
I don't know. I'm going to take
Jesus
Carolina
Christ.
in the
It
over.
just feels like a Carolina win.
I'm going to be honest with
Falcons
you.
are falling.
If you have any brain cells left in your head, stay the fuck away from that game. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Also, jumping back 1 second, the Jaguars traded James Robinson to the
Correct.
Jets. I don't know. Did you guys talk about that on Wednesday?
We did.
I didn't make it all the way through that yet, but
Yes.
okay. As long as you covered that.
Yes, we did.
If you have Travis Etienne,
The only thing we didn't cover trade-wise was Robert Quinn, because that came out after
yeah.
they traded him to
Well,
Philadelphia
let's-
Eagles.
When we get to
to
the Eagles,
bolster
when we
that.
get to the Eagles game, I want
Okay.
to talk about that a little bit more. So remind me if I. Actually, we're at the Bears. So there we go. We can
The
talk
Bears.
about it. Yeah, they traded away Robert Quinn for, I believe it was a 4th-round pick, and then what they did.
It's a 6 that could turn into a 5.
Okay, what they did is they whacked the last 2 years of his contract.
Correct.
So essentially, after this year, he's a free agent. I don't know if that means he'll end up back in Chicago or what. We'll have to see. I didn't really understand it, to be honest with you. I did not really understand why.
Here it is.
Philadelphia
Howie
was down
Roseman is
there.
all in.
Yes, I get that, but I mean, Robert Quinn he hasn't been all that
They want
productive
Robert
this year.
Quinn to be part of the rotation.
God bless him. If you have the ability to go out and just keep adding pieces, I guess.
Well, that's what the Rams
philosophy.
did when they won a Super Bowl.
Rams
I think
philosophy.
they're kind of looking at it. They're trying to run with their version of it.
yeah.
Sean McVay.
And think about it. Think about it now.
Change the game.
With the team struggling the way they are, Green Bay, Tampa, struggling the way they are.
Yeah, this opens
leaves
up
the
the door.
door wide open
Yeah.
for Philadelphia.
Well, don't forget about the Dallas Cowboys. They have to
I'm
make it
not
through
going
the
to forget
Cowboys
about
first.
the Cowboys or the Giants that are
Please.
in their division.
Please.
All right.
You want to know what's messed up? The fact that you still use the New York Giants in the same sentence as the Philadelphia Eagles.
Listen to me. Daniel Jones
is
had
kinda
me
fucked
believing
up.
last week. Daniel Jones looked like Fran fucking Tarkington last week.
Just wait till we get there.
Okay.
I'm gonna do some ripping today.
Okay.
The Chicago Bears head down to Dallas to play the Cowboys. Dallas is a 10-point favorite. The over/under is 42.5. And I was shocked to see this line at Dallas being a 10-point favorite after the Bears went in and, who guessed it, popped the New England Patriots at Gillette last week. I knew, for some reason, I watched that game last week and I knew it. I knew it. I wasn't here to talk about the Monday night game because I wasn't here Wednesday. So let me toot for a second. I knew that Chicago would go in there and do it. Don't know why. I just knew it. I don't know if history will repeat itself, but 10 points is way too many for me to feel good about. I think the Cowboys got a fluky blowout win last week against the Lions, which I also said would happen because the Lions are officially now probably the worst team in football. I am going to take Chicago with the points, and I'm going to take the over because Chicago has finally showed us they have. I mean, I might choke on myself when I say this. Justin Fields looked good last week.
This is actually last week was the first week I actually seen him.
Correct.
Look
And
like he knew what he was doing.
Correct.
Rather than on the fly making it up as he's going.
And the thing is, I mean, that's the same Patriots defense that made Jared Goff look like look like a Pop Warner
Correct.
quarterback. So I have a little bit more faith in the Bears than I previously have. I'm going to take them to cover in this game. I'm going to take the over. The only factor here is that I don't think Zeke is going to play. If you recall, I also did call a big game for Zeke against the Lions, and he ended up with 3 touchdowns. But I don't think Zeke is going to play. I don't know if that matters all that much because then Tony Pollard will just get the entire workload. But I'm still going to take the over. I would
I'm going to take
maybe.
I'm going to take the Bears to cover that. Cover this game.
Absolutely.
And the over also.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Okay.
Obviously.
Okay.
I'm not doing the betting aspect because I'm terrible at the betting aspect because every time I do the betting
They have to win by
aspect,
more than 10.
I
But
fucking get it wrong every time.
they have
No,
to
you
win
realistically
more
don't.
by 10.
On the year, you've picked bets better than I have.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, you have.
With the one
Your
parlay
record
I hit
is better than his.
with Jalen Hurts.
All right, here we go. And I think this has the makings to be this week's shit show of the week. Tua and the Dolphins head downtown to Ford Field to play the Lions. And Sheila Hamp Ford came out this week and said Dan Campbell is my guy, and he ain't going nowhere. The Lions are on, what are we at now? A 4-game losing streak? Awful.
Yes.
Miami's a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. I'll start out by saying this. I'm going to take the under. The only reason I wouldn't is because Miami might put up 49 points by themselves.
Swift's playing.
Here we go. The Lions have scored 6 points in the last 2 weeks. That's the long and the short of it. And they've allowed 24, 29, 48, 28, 27. One, the Lions have absolutely no answers for Miami's receivers. Their secondary will get absolutely fucking torched. I wholeheartedly believe that. I don't care who they trot out there. Nobody on the roster could even get close to holding up with Waddle and Hill. We'll start with that. That's number one. Number two, I don't. Is DeAndre Swift still alive?
Yes, he's playing.
He is.
He's in.
He's
Active.
actually
He
playing.
still has a shoulder and ankle injury, but he is
Perfect.
in
So he'll get
playing.
4 carries for 6 yards, and then that's
And
all we'll see from him.
St. Brown is questionable still with his head.
So okay, so we might not have Amon-Ra. DeAndre Swift, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to trot him out there while he's still hurt. For what reason, I don't know. To give him 4 carries to get him more banged up. He'll get 6 yards and he'll sit down. That's beautiful. So now, is Jameson Williams off? Did they activate him off of IR?
Jameson Williams, Dan Campbell said early in the week
He's not.
that he's 4 weeks out.
Beautiful. So he's done for
He's
the
a
fucking
month
year.
out.
He's out for the year. So let's be real about this. Detroit now.
They're blowing the season.
We're at the point now in the year where you can stop and you can start to write teams off, right? You can write teams off. At the end of the day, I think the Lions, in typical Lions fashion, this is the first team that we can put across.
They have this week, right? That's it.
What do you mean?
Before half the season.
It's over. I mean, it's over. Let's if we do a quick recap on it, before the New England debacle, this team had a lot of hope, but I don't know. It's
fun
still
to watch.
so hard.
The injuries have been significant.
Stop.
They've been
Every team has fucking injuries.
Stop.
Every team has injuries.
You were
They're
dealing with the
still-
least talented roster in the NFL before the season, defensively, and now
Right.
you have now you just have guys in off the street. So
Here we go.
Belichick
got-
makes it work.
The free agents that they brought in are on IR.
it's awful. It's just fucking awful.
Okay,
But this is
you can't put together a 3-game stretch where you have your offensive line playing.
guess what?
You can't put together a 4-game stretch or a 3-game stretch or a 2-game stretch where you have your starters playing at all.
I
At all.
don't care.
I
Because
don't either, but I'm just saying.
You're going to sit here and talk about the defense and how atrocious it is. I agree with you.
it is.
But let's stop.
But they played better last week.
They did.
They allowed 24 points.
That's good.
Well,
For them, that's
In the
good.
second
yes,
half.
in one half of football. Okay,
Because their offense couldn't do anything to keep them in the game.
The defense. How do you have an offense that's putting up 36, 24, 45, average of 35 points a week,
And hasn't scored a touchdown
the
in 2
light
weeks?
switch just goes off? What the fuck? That's the bigger question.
Yeah.
The defense is bad, right? Everybody knows the defense is bad. We have known the defense is bad since week 1. The offense, on the other hand, looked fabulous. And that's what kept everybody's hope in this, was that, okay, all the defense has to do is keep them under 30 points, and we can outscore anybody. I said it right here. Can the Lions outscore New England? They should have in a heartbeat. But it was they just shut the lights off.
Should they have at least scored against Dallas?
Oh, my God, are you
going to
kidding?
say this, and I know you guys are going to get mad. But at a certain point, it comes down to the fact that you lose 2 guys on your offense, and it turns to shambles. Jared Goff loses Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then he has nobody else he can trust. He looks like he's scared to throw the ball.
I will say this. Do you remember a stat I gave you guys last week? You weren't here. There's 2 guys that have led the league in turnovers in the fucking past 2 years. You know who they are?
Your 2 quarterbacks.
Well,
Matt Ryan
I was going to say,
and Jared
Oh, wait,
Goff.
no, yeah, Jared Goff. You have
They
Jared
lead
Goff.
the fucking league in turnovers.
no, Stafford led the league last year.
Matt Ryan and Jared Goff had 60 fucking turnovers in the past 2 years.
I'm not. There's no chance.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no chance.
From last year to this year.
Nope.
Yes.
No, I'm telling you that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
How did he have 60?
Listen, I was listening to the guy.
Listen to me.
talking about
It's misinformed.
Okay.
It's misinformed. It might be turnover on downs. How do you figure?
He's averaging 2 turnovers a game.
How do you get to 60? There's only 18 games in a season.
He's averaging for the past 3-4 years. They lead the league in turnovers.
But you have to understand it doesn't make sense. I
This
think
is
Goff
going
had
back from when Matt Ryan, his last year in Atlanta.
that was last year.
Correct. He had 30 turnovers last year, 35 turnovers last year.
Yeah.
Turnovers, not interceptions, just turnovers in general.
He's got 6 on the year. Got
Correct.
8 last year.
Okay. That's
13 in 2020.
And how many fumbles? So he had 13 in 2020 and 13 in the last 2 years.
Talking about picks
That's
or turnovers?
26.
Turnovers.
Those are interceptions. I don't it doesn't
Right.
say pick, or it doesn't say fumbles. Oh wait, has rushing. He has zero.
They're turning over the
This
ball.
says he has 0 fumbles in 2022.
Yeah, that's not true.
That's
because
not
he
right
had
at all.
fucking all kinds of them.
Yeah.
This year, he's fumbled the ball at least fucking twice a game.
Yes, but okay, Stafford had 10 in 2020, 17 in 2021, and 8 so far this year.
8
Picks.
picks.
Yeah. So
And
that
fumbles?
alone is 27 and 8. That's 34 picks in the last 3 years. Where Jared Goff has 26. So you're trying to tell me Jared Goff
With the
you're trying to tell me
turnovers. I
Jared
said
Goff has had
turnovers.
12 fumbles in the last 2 years? Come on.
Yes.
No.
I mean, that's could be close. 12 ain't that. I mean,
(2022) 4, 2021 9. So it's 13.
Yeah. How
wow.
many has he got this year?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Anyway, he turns the ball over.
Yes, but
Those 2 have turned the ball over, and that's why you're seeing what you're
Matt
seeing.
Stafford won a Super Bowl last year with more turnovers.
That's because
I wasn't
the
talking about
defense
turnovers.
of the
I was just talking
L.A.
about-
Rams is fucking elite.
Okay, Matt Ryan was in a Super Bowl and shit it away with just as many. Listen to me, fucking A. Jameis Winston almost had the Buccaneers in playoff contention with 30 picks.
30-30.
I mean, I'm just saying. I was just talking about his confidence as a quarterback. I wasn't talking about. The
I don't
turnovers.
think Jared Goff.
Because you don't have to have great numbers or a great stat sheet or have a perfect game to win a Super Bowl.
Jared Goff is not the problem.
I'm just saying.
not.
I'm just saying. You have 2 guys. You saw Swift go down. You saw St. Brown go down, and all of a sudden the offense is dysfunctional. Clearly, it's a problem. Clearly.
But I see. I have a hard time swallowing that pill too because Jamal Williams is serviceable. Realistically, Jamal Williams, even when we've seen Swift healthy, which is like You blink and you miss it. Jamal Williams is almost just as effective. The problem is they don't establish the run, period. They don't even give it a chance. Because Jared Goff was able to be so successful in the passing game early in the year, they just keep trying to go back to that.
Because of St. Brown.
But you got to be more than a one-trick pony.
But that's what he does. Look at his stat sheet. Look at St. Brown's stat sheet.
Well, it's gone.
It's gone now.
That's gone. So you think St. Brown's going to come back and they're going to go back to putting up 35 points a game?
No, I'm just saying.
Because I think they got away from what they were doing early on.
Correct. I think that it was a coaching. It was a change. The offense changed. You want to know what it was? Dan Campbell and what's the offensive coordinator's name? I'm looking at his face. Ben Johnson sat there with poo-poo in their diapers before they went to play New England and tried to reinvent the wheel because they kept losing games where they were putting up 45 points. And they're like, we need to figure this out. Ball control, running, all the above. And they changed that offense completely before they went in to play Belichick so they wouldn't get fucking embarrassed because they knew that's what was going to happen. Because if you rely on Jared Goff to throw the ball like he has been against New England at Gillette against Bill Belichick, you will get embarrassed. If they would have played that type of football, and guess what? They reinvented the wheel, and it didn't fucking work because Dan Campbell's not that great of a coach, and Ben Johnson was living on the coattails of Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they got embarrassed anyways. And they can't get it back together.
The same thing happened last week.
Correct. Right. And the same thing happened last week.
Let's not sit here for 20 minutes and talk about the Lions.
Either way, the Cowboys will win this game the Dolphins will win this game by far more than 3.5. And I'm going to take the under because the Lions can't put up any points against anybody. I don't think it matters. I think the Lions, if they get lucky, they'll fall into 2 touchdowns.
This game was 7 points. I would take the Lions in the points, but it's not.
Why?
I'm going to ask. It's not.
I know, but I'm going to ask you why. What makes you think the Lions are only a touchdown worse than Miami?
I think Tua is he fucking ragdoll.
It doesn't matter.
And they're able to get to him and put him on the ground. It could be lights out for them.
Okay, who's the third string that came in and played?
I'm sorry?
Who was the backup quarterback that came in and played for them?
Skylar Thompson.
If Skylar Thompson was playing in this game.
From Kansas State.
If Skylar Thompson was playing in this game and they were a 3.5-point favorite still, I would take Miami in a heartbeat.
With Skylar Thompson.
With Skylar Thompson. Because there is not one singular person on the Lions defense who can hold a candle to either of those two receivers. You watch. Tariq Hill and or Jalen Waddle will both have
I don't think they're going to be the issue. You know what the issue is going to be? Raheem Mostert's going to have a career day.
They're all going to have a career day. I think Miami is just going to go absolutely
I see the repeat of what happened last week.
So you think it's going to be a low scoring till the second half?
The defense is going to get tired from keeping up, and then the offense won't be able to do shit. They're going to have a repeat.
All right, I'm taking the Dolphins and the under.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
I'll say this much. The Dolphins, ever since they got embarrassed by the Jets, they beat Buffalo. That was their last big win. They beat Pittsburgh last week. But their last big win was against Buffalo, and then they lost to Cincinnati, the Jets, and Minnesota, all while Tua was dealing with the injury. And they only beat Pittsburgh 16-10 last week.
Yes.
If they want to get back into that playoff conversation, all that shit they were talking about
it all goes
when
away
they beat Buffalo.
It all goes away tomorrow.
But what?
The speculation and everything.
Yeah. I think they're going to come out. I think they're going to hang fucking 42 up at Ford Field tomorrow, and I think they're right back in that conversation. And they shut the Jets up for a week. Moving on.
It's going to be pretty cool to see Tua, though, in person.
God bless.
Say that.
You know what? I almost went to the game last on Thursday night because I was in Orlando.
Okay.
I almost made the drive across, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, if they lose, am I going to want to vomit for the hour-and-a-half drive back to Orlando? And the answer was yes. And something was telling me they were going to lose, so I didn't go. But
maybe you should have went and they would have won.
No, it's usually not how
it works. It's not how it works. When you go, they lose.
The Cardinals head up to Minneapolis to play the Vikings. Minnesota is hot. They're on a 4-game win streak, with their only loss coming to the Philadelphia Eagles, whereas the Cardinals picked up a close one last week against New Orleans after losing to Seattle and Philadelphia, respectively.
That was a very entertaining game.
It was a very entertaining game. I think this game also has the makings to be an entertaining one, but Kirk Cousins is at home at 1 o'clock, and we know
what happened.
Kirk Cousins is at home at 1 o'clock. He does not lose. I think this is going to be a very, very, very entertaining football game. Minnesota's a 3.5-point favorite. I am going to take them at -3.5. I think they're a touchdown. I think they'll win this game by a touchdown. That over-under of 49. Both these teams have shown at times they can put up 30 points. Even though that 1-9 against Seattle for the Cardinals really does rub me the wrong way. And I think the Vikings defense is...
I don't like the half a point. I don't like the 3.5. I don't like it.
Well, I don't think either of these teams are just a field goal different. I don't. I think Minnesota will win this game by a touchdown.
Okay.
And so I'm going to take Minnesota -3.5. I'm also going to take the over on the 49. I know that's a lot of points, especially for me.
I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover and the over.
Living on the prayer, right?
No,
Living on the half.
you know what? I believe Hopkins being back is a little spark under them. You know, I would love it if James Conner was back, but that's not going to happen.
No, Cardinals can't run the football. Cardinals cannot run the ball.
I don't know. I just think they're going to cover.
I'm going to take the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to.
It's a very Vikings winnable game right here.
You want to know what? This is all the makings for the slump game for the Cardinals, because you're right. Okay. Hopkins came back last week. They were hot. Everything worked perfectly against New Orleans.
You know, when he gets cute, sometimes he'll pull out a big win.
Yeah, he got cute last week. I also think the Vikings secondary is a little bit better than New Orleans, to be honest.
I think their secondary is better. Yeah. I don't feel that the Vikings front is better
agree
than
with
New
that.
Orleans.
But the beauty of that is the Cardinals cannot run the ball. I think you could put a fucking wet paper bag out
We're
there.
We're saying this right now, and that Edo Benjamin guy will go off for 150.
I don't think that's happening tomorrow. I'm going to take the Vikings and the over in that game. Next up, the Raiders, the best 2-4 football team ever, head down to New Orleans to play the Saints. They are a 1.5 favorite against New Orleans, and the over-under is 49.5.
I don't know which way to turn on this.
I think the Raiders are gonna win because they're just too good not to. But God, have they shown at points that they can be bad? Again, this was my Raiders.
They could be brutal, but then they could be really good too.
Right. This is my Raiders philosophy. If you look at the games they've played this year, again, they lost to Arizona by 6. They lost to Tennessee by 2. Then they beat Denver by 9. They lost to Kansas City by 1.
That Arizona game, though, that's the one where Kyler Murray basically took it on his shoulders and they won it.
Correct.
He won it at the end. I don't see Andy Dalton doing that.
I don't either. And so that was my point, is the Raiders don't.
Right.
The Raiders do not have blowout games. They are in every game, and I think if they're in a game against Andy Dalton, against New Orleans, they will pull it out.
I agree.
They haven't lost a game this year by more than 4 fucking points.
Right.
So I'm gonna roll with the Raiders here, -1.5. That over-under of 49 is interesting. They put up 38 against Houston last week, 30 against Kansas City, 32 against Denver. I think
take the over.
I'm going to take the over as well. I mean, even in the Saints loss to Arizona last week, they put up 34 points and then 26 against Cincinnati in a loss. Right. I think they have all the makings. This game has all the makings to be a 70-pointer.
Be a cool game. I think this could be possibly the game of the week.
Raiders -1.5, and the over on that one is the way that I am going to go.
I'm going the same way.
I'm going to take the Raiders.
Next up, this game is going to be the messiest, dirtiest, nastiest one, I think, on the schedule this week. And I was shocked to see the favorite, but the New England Patriots head into MetLife to play the Jets. They are a 2.5-point favorite against New York. The over-under is 40. I mean, the Patriots are coming off of a ass whooping by the Bears. The Jets are on a 4-game win streak.
And they're without their best player.
And Breece Hall is gone. They traded for James Robinson. I actually love that. I love him slotting into that offense. I think Michael Carter's stock goes a little bit back up. I'm going to say this much. Belichick doesn't lose 2 big games in a row. I believe that whole philosophy, but I also believe that the quarterback controversy that New England is obviously having, no matter what Belichick says, is affecting the team.
I do too.
Point blank, period. Mac Jones is still hurt. Mac Jones is trying to get back as quick as he can so that Bailey Zappi doesn't completely eviscerate him from the Patriots depth chart, because that's what was going to happen. And Belichick, I think last week against Chicago, made one of the very few times in his career, made a mistake on who to start in that game.
I totally agree. I'm the one who said that Zappi, he should have went with Zappi and let him run with the hot hand.
Didn't he just come out and say that Jones is his guy, though?
Well, we know Jones is the guy.
You want to know what? Hold on.
He's obviously not ready. You seen him last week.
like-
He was not ready.
Dude, he doesn't look ready at all.
You want to know
He
what?
doesn't look...
You want to know what this sly bastard did? If you were watching the game, and a lot of people missed this, but at halftime they asked Belichick who's going to be the quarterback, and they said, "Oh, Zappi's going to come out for the first drive, and then Mac Jones is going to get integrated back into the game."
Yeah,
did Mac Jones get integrated back into the second half of that game?
Not.
No, he did not. I think realistically, don't fucking shoot me here.
He kind of shit. No,
we have a
he shit
Brady
the bed.
Bledsoe situation on our hands here.
Yeah, we do.
We have a Brady Bledsoe situation.
The
on
only
our hands.
difference is neither one of these guys can play at that level.
Correct. And I think this is, if Mac Jones starts, if Mac Jones goes out, if Mac Jones does what he did last week in Chicago and throw a couple of picks and look like shit, now
With 30 yards passing.
he's gone.
Yeah.
And now we're in Mac Jones is playing for his life. And when non-veteran quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks are playing for their life, they usually fuck up.
They fail.
Correct. I think Mac Jones will ultimately fail again. I am going to take the Jets plus 2.5 in this game, and I am going to take the under because, one, I don't think the Jets offense knows what they're going to do without Elijah Mitchell and Breece Hall. Two, excuse me, I meant Elijah Moore. My bad. Okay. Without Elijah Moore and Breece Hall, and I don't think the Patriots know what the fuck is going on. Period.
Okay.
I don't think Belichick does.
I'm just going to take the Jets for one reason. Gangrene, baby. I'm all in. I'm all in on Robert Saleh.
This
Got
game-
those guys playing their asses off.
This
Yes, he
game
does.
comes down to a Jets defense, and it's the Jets' defensive win, in my opinion. So
I'm taking the Jets and the under.
As am I. Next up, the Steelers are going to Philly to play the Eagles. The Eagles are a 10.5-point favorite. The over-under is 42. I have made every attempt possible to try and find a way for Philadelphia to lose. Somehow the schedule makers just put a big bow on this season for them. I want to say that, this is going to be the trap game. You know, Pittsburgh's got a couple cute wins against Tampa. You know, this is going to be the trap game. It's not. Philadelphia's going to fucking steamroll them. They are. Philadelphia will absolutely fucking steamroll them. And watch it, I'll be wrong.
Yes, sir.
Now I'll be wrong. 10.5 points, a lot of points. I don't give a fuck. Philadelphia will win this game by fucking 3 touchdowns. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Is there anything
What
else?
makes you think they're not going to?
I didn't think they'd win by 3 touchdowns.
What makes you think they're not going to? I mean,
I would say 2 touchdowns, not 3. 3 might be a little much.
We're just sitting here arguing how much they're going to win
yeah.
by.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm taking the Eagles, but I'm going to take the over on this.
oh, God.
I'm going to take the over. I think it'll be more than 42 points.
I don't.
Because I think the Eagles could do that by themselves. And you might get a few field goals and Najee Harris touchdown, maybe.
You want to know
So
something?
I'm gonna take the Eagles and the over.
We'll talk more about this on Monday, but that Thursday night football game next week where the Philadelphia Eagles go to Houston.
Yes. Is that their trap game?
I'm going to put a little asterisk next to that one right now.
All right, I'm gonna we'll get that one in there. I hear you.
But this week,
Trap game.
this week against Philadelphia in the battle for Pennsylvania, I think the Eagles fucking eviscerate
Okay.
the Steelers. I just for the over under, fuck.
Who do you like, Bruce?
I'm going to take, you know what? Real
HR
quick,
Puff and stuff.
I'm going to take the under
Okay.
because I think it's
I'm
going
gonna take the
to be 35-3.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles.
Okay.
um
First of the
Stupid.
4 o'clock games, 4:05 start.
The Tennessee Titans head to Energy Stadium to play the Houston Texans. The Tennessee is a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 40.5. Tennessee is hot right now on a 4-game win streak with wins against the Raiders, the Colts, the Commanders, and the Colts again. I picked the Colts to beat them 2 weeks ago, but I will say this much.
Every time these two teams play, for some reason, the Texans always play good against Tennessee and Indianapolis. Those two teams, it just seems like sometimes
Division
the Texans,
rival gets to them a little bit.
I think it gets to them, and somebody's going to come out with a big game, whether it's Pierce or Davis Mills. And,
It ain't going to be
they'll
Davis
be
Mills.
into this game.
It ain't going to be Davis Mills. I'll give you
Okay.
Pierce, but it ain't going to be Davis Mills. That's cute.
So I'm going to take the Texans getting the 3 and the under.
Cute philosophy. Derrick Henry for the win. Tennessee -3, under 40.5 points, because this is gonna be one of those 17-8 games, or like 16-9. I'm gonna
Be the
take.
game I fall asleep there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take Tennessee -3 in the under.
It's just the nap game
This
before
is the nap
the
game.
8 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is hard. I kind of want to say Houston. But then
I'm taking Houston.
Do
I
it,
think-
Bruce.
I think Houston's better than their record. I really do.
I feel
Oh,
like
Jesus, you and this fucking this phantom erection you have for Davis Mills needs to end.
well, who's better, Ryan Tannehill or Davis Mills?
Listen to me. Can I be honest with you? You can put the Dan Campbell bobblehead out there to play quarterback. It's better than fucking Davis Mills.
All right. I'm taking the Titans.
Do you want to know the only reason why Houston's not talked about as being worse than the Lions? Because they're too far away.
Far away from where?
Here.
Okay.
Next
Round.
up, in another game that I think is a shit show of the week contender, we have the Washington Commanders.
Bailey Zappi or Taylor Heineke. baby.
Taylor Heineke versus
Taylor
Sam
Heineke.
Ellinger. I'm surprised you haven't gone on your Sam.
By the way, I am taking the Washington Commanders in this game, giving up 3 points.
Okay. No, they're getting.
Oh, they're getting 3?
Yes.
I'll take the Commanders in the 3.
The Colts are a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 39.5. Okay. We have Taylor Heineke versus Sam Ellinger.
I'm going to go the over.
You got something special in them cough drops there, or what?
All right.
Fuck.
I'm going to take the over, and I'm taking the Commanders and the 3.
I agree with you.
Taylor Heineke is the next coming
He could be right about the other.
of Fran Tarkenton.
You want to know what? Here.
Yeah.
You ready for my philosophy on this game? Number one, Jim Irsay needs to set down the fucking bottle. Because
I like Jim Irsay.
I know you do.
I think
that's great.
He's a good guy. Just don't drive on the streets of Indianapolis when he's
When
on
he's
a bender.
Listen, here's the thing. The impatience out of the Indianapolis Colts is ultimately cost them multiple seasons now. So Andrew Luck retires, and then that was when the Phillip Rivers era began, and then he retired, and then they brought in Carson Wentz, and then before Carson Wentz even could find an apartment to live in, they got rid of him, and then they brought in the ghost of Matt Ryan, who all off season, if we recall, said was washed and a has-been and didn't deserve a spot starting on this team, and it was a huge mistake, and you guys both sat here and told me how fucking stupid I was.
I like Matt Ryan.
Great. Guess what? You want to know where he is? He's fucking making shakes at the Friendlies off of I-90 in fucking Indiana now. Okay? Sam Ellinger, a guy who has thrown 3 NFL passes, has replaced him.
Okay.
Awful. The Colts have no fucking idea what they're doing.
He is also hurt.
Yes.
They have Nick Foles.
Matt Ryan was hurt.
They have Nick Foles.
I get that.
Play him.
Maybe they just don't feel confident.
They're too impatient.
What
And
is
so
Nick
they're going
Foles
to trot
gonna do?
Sam Ellinger. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
So do you
hasn't
think it's
done
the coach?
shit.
Do you think it's the coaching staff?
I
there?
think it's ownership and management. It's
Okay.
awful. It's awful. You knew what you were getting. You knew what you
Right.
were getting.
You were getting a broken guy.
You keep trying. You think your team is so much better than it is, and you're just a quarterback away, a quarterback away. If you think you're a quarterback away, go out and get a fucking quarterback. Don't go out and get the ghost of Phillip Rivers, followed by the corpse of fucking Carson Wentz, followed by the dismemberment that is Matt Ryan. It's awful. And now you're going to trot out a kid who has no fucking experience.
Happy Halloween.
In a shitty fucking situation. And he's
going up against the next Doug Flutie.
Yeah, it's awful. Commanders.
Yes, I called Taylor Heineke Doug Flutie.
Commanders for the win. Under 39.5.
Why are you looking at me like you don't know who Doug Flutie is?
No, I was over here thinking, should I go to the Lions game in a clown outfit?
Yes, you should. It's very fitting. Next up, the 49ers are traveling to Los Angeles to play the Rams. I've got news for you. The Rams are very, very quickly just flying down my board at 3-3 to not make the playoffs this year. I think San Francisco will get it together this week against them. San Francisco, a 1-point favorite.
I really think you're going to see the emergence this week of
McCaffrey.
Them I just think them in general.
Deebo Samuel's out.
I don't think they're going to need him, to be honest.
I think you're going to see big weeks out of Ayuk and Ray McCloud.
Yes.
I think Christian McCaffrey is going to come out and just absolutely
explode.
He made a comment this week that he did feel a little bit of the pressure because they gave up a lot for him and he wanted to win for this team. I agree with that. Stanford boy, he's going to play his heart out for the 49ers, period. The Rams, I don't know what to make of them yet. We've seen them play 6 games. They are 3-3. And I don't know what to make of them because every big game they lose. Last time they played San Francisco.
What's his name? Just went on IR. The one Van Jefferson's on IR.
Van Jefferson's been fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. The last time they played San Francisco, they lost by 2 touchdowns. I think that continues this week. I'm going to take San Francisco -1 all day.
And nobody knows what's going on with the running back situation and with the Rams.
It's a fucking shit show.
Henderson is supposedly the guy.
He's off.
They'll only get the
only
ball
guy.
fucking 12 times a game.
Right. I mean, unless they took the bye week to really, really revamp this offense, they've got fucking issues, period. And they don't have an offensive line. So they can't run the ball even if they wanted to. And Stafford's just going to continue to throw picks, especially against this 49ers D. I think the 49ers walk away with a very easy win like they did the last time they played this team. And the Rams fall to 3-4. And you're going to have to start to talk about McVay and Stafford and everybody else now. The silver lining from last year's Super Bowl has completely fallen off.
Looks like it's got yanked out from under him.
Correct.
Yeah.
San Francisco and over under 42.
I'm gonna take the over on it.
With Deebo Samuel out in this game, I'm going to take the under. And this Deebo story, I don't want to make more of it what it is than what it is here, but there could be some underlying stuff with this Deebo thing. That's all I'm going to say. Because we don't know all that much right now.
I think there was stuff going on with him before they even fucking started the year.
I think there was, and I think stuff starting to come out of
and I think them getting
now.
McCaffrey and kind of him taking a
week off
right now.
What happened?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of videos of him coming out of him in bed with various women. So
and dudes. So
and dudes?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Next up. I don't know where Vegas is pulling these odds from, but
yeah, I don't get this either.
The Giants are heading to Seattle to play.
I don't know how you could be a 6-1 team going into somebody's house and being a
3-point dog.
Yeah.
The Giants are 3-point underdogs going into Seattle to play the Seahawks. The over-under is 44.5. I am going to take you know what?
I'm going to take the over on this.
I'm not.
I'm taking the over.
You know what? I'm going to take Seattle -3.
Huh?
I'm going to take Seattle -3.
Okay.
Seattle seems like a team of destiny at this point. I don't know why. I don't believe in you know what's fucked up?
Metcalf is not playing.
You're right.
So I'm going to take.
Right.
I'm taking the Giants and the over.
The Giants look pretty hyped up last week.
Yes, but again,
Listen, that Brian Dabo guy is
Dude,
for real.
that's you know what.
He's got those guys playing their asses
They are
off.
playing.
Listen, you got something in your chin from having Brian Dable in your mouth. But I'll tell you this much, okay? it's not. Again, it doesn't make sense. You're missing it.
It may not make sense to you, but
Yes.
No, because you want to know
It's
what
working for them.
in the NFL, things ultimately things make sense when teams win. That's it. The Lions thing against when they were going to New England, it didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fucking make sense. This Giants team doesn't make sense. Then they take one of their most dynamic people and trade him away for a box of fucking nothing. Traded away Kadarius Toney.
Okay.
Well, they don't have any receivers.
He doesn't play. He doesn't play. He's hurt.
Well, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
But you're not getting anything back for him. It doesn't make sense. I'm
You know
taking
what?
Seattle.
Maybe he just didn't fit in over there. Maybe he didn't fit into the system. Maybe he's not buying into Dabo's system. And maybe that's why he's not fucking there now.
Listen to me, dude.
You get rid of cancers that are on your team.
You don't have one receiver with over 200 yards receiving on the year.
Get rid of cancers on your team.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Bellinger, it's got an eyeball dangling out of his fucking head.
Happy Halloween.
I mean, yeah. I mean, God, Saquon Barkley is 10 yards away from being their leading receiver. It doesn't make sense. I am sorry.
I am taking the Giants in the over.
God bless. I'm taking Seattle.
I'm
taking Seattle in the fucking under. I don't care. I can't continue to sit there and support things that do not make sense. Because as soon as you buy into it, it will shoot you in the foot.
I'm all in on the Giants.
Because here's the thing. If you look at Seattle, it's not completely makes sense, but it makes a little bit of sense. They have a good running game. They have decent receivers. Geno Smith is playing out of his mind. Their defense a little bit better than we thought.
How much longer is Geno Smith going to be able to play at this level?
With the pieces that Pete Carroll has put around him, it makes more sense than the Giants.
It does make sense.
But Daniel Jones last week was amazing.
God bless him. That's 1 in 3 years.
He was amazing.
It's 1 in 3 years. He won't be this week. I don't know if it'll be the jet lag or what. Next up, the Packers are heading
8 o'clock game.
Buffalo on Sunday Night Football. Buffalo is a 10.5-point favorite. The over-under is 47. The Packers season is over, much to Bruce's joy, and Buffalo is going to absolutely fucking embarrass Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at home. That over-under of 47, I got news for you. The Packers are not going to put up more than 10 to 14 points against this Buffalo D. I don't see them hitting this over. I think the Bills will win by more than 10 points in this game. I know you don't like the big spreads, but guess what?
No, I don't.
If you look at the Bills so far this year, they beat Pittsburgh 38-3. How much better is Green Bay than Pittsburgh? Not much. They beat Tennessee 41-7. How much better is Green Bay than Tennessee? They're not. Their closest games.
I'm going to take them to. I'm going to take the Packers to cover in this game.
God bless.
And I'm taking the under, but I'm going to take them to cover.
The Packers, who have lost to Washington and both New York teams respectively in the last 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm taking them to cover.
And their big wins were against New England, who lost to Chicago, and Tampa Bay, who lost to Carolina.
Okay.
You have something wrong in your head if you're not taking the Bills.
Thank you.
So
I'm taking the Packers to cover, meaning the Bills have to beat them by more than 10.5 points.
okay,
I'd like to understand
you
your
just-
reasoning there, though. So
I truly think that the combination of Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers is good enough to keep that 10 points.
but hold on. To keep it within a touchdown?
who's winning the game?
They're going to lose to Buffalo.
You can't see
But
them
I just
losing
don't.
this game by
I
14.
could see them losing by a touchdown,
Easy by a touchdown.
Correct.
So easy by a touchdown and a
Or
field
maybe
goal.
by 6 or 7. 6 or 7.
They're gonna. It's gonna be embarrassing. Aaron
They might
Rodgers
even
is
lose
gonna,
by 9, and I still win.
They could lose by 10 and you still win.
I know that.
Next up on Monday Night Football, the Bengals are heading into Cleveland to play the Browns in the battle for Ohio. Well,
This is a terrible Monday.
we have a battle for Pennsylvania and a battle for Ohio this week.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 shithole states.
Is Jamar
Or
Chase
shithole teams.
out this week?
Jamar Chase is not playing this week.
Okay.
He's out 4 to 6 weeks.
How long?
4 to 6.
Oh, shit.
That's a huge blow for Cincinnati. Cincinnati's still a 3.5-point favorite, over under a 45. The Browns defense has been very disappointing
you know what
as
this
of late.
says to me right here? You know what this game says to me right now?
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, baby.
That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to take the Browns.
Oh, God. Ugh.
I'm going to take the Browns, the over, in the 3.5.
I'm going to take Cincinnati, the over. Cincinnati will win this game by more than
Taking the
3.
Browns.
This is the thing. Nick Chubb could go out, run for 350 yards and 6 touchdowns, and the Browns still won't fucking
Right,
win.
they'll get
So it
inside
doesn't
the
matter.
goal line and put fucking Kareem Hunt in.
Or have Jacoby Brissett throw to
I
a
think
tight
did
end
he
you
get
never heard
traded
of
yet?
because- And Njoku's
Kareem Hunt
out.
get traded yet?
No. You know
I don't know
Njoku's
why.
out.
Who?
Njoku's out 4 to 6 weeks.
No, we know that.
Yeah.
We know that.
It's gonna Bengals are on track now. Bengals look good. Here we go. They're gonna be sneaky.
Well, here's where you need to be careful right now, because this is one of those Jacoby Brissett fucking upset games. It scares me.
Oh, listen to me.
I'm gonna take the Browns.
God bless.
All right.
I'm going to take the Browns.
God bless.
I hear you, Bruce.
Holy
About
shit.
time you fucking got some logic.
If you ever wonder when they finally put me in the asylum and you ever wonder
Listen
why.
to me. Jamar Chase is a fucking monster. Without
Great.
him there, everybody else becomes very normal.
Who? T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, who could both
Yes, they become normal.
who both had over 100-yard games. Well, Jamar Chase
You
did.
got Jamar Chase.
They
gotta
all
roll
do
coverage
it.
for
They
that
all
guy.
do it. And you know what? Now you might actually see Joe Mixon start playing fucking football.
Thank you. This is what I need.
No, if they're
I
going
need
to
a
sit there
30
and
point from Joe Mixon
if they're gonna-
this week.
if they're going to sit there and if Chubb's going to sit there and run it down your throat, just try and get Mixon in the ball. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you are listening to us, make sure to go check us out on YouTube and subscribe. If you're watching us, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Music as well. Enjoy Week 8. A lot of great matchups. We will be back on Tuesday with a recap for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you need some last-minute fantasy advice, hit Fantasy Frenzy Week 8. Have a good week.